Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition all Hecata Chronicle Berlin Bloodlines. This is our final epilogue, Reflections. So let's meet our vampires, starting with Josh.
Hi, I'm Josh. I'm going to be playing Lucius Giovanni, and I'm excited to be here. And
Ed looking good. Looking great. Totally gonna run Berlin real soon. It's gonna happen real soon.
Yeah, can't wait.
Syriinx?
Hi, I'm Syriinx. I'll be playing the Witch of Gudam, or Anastasia. And I'm also looking fly, if I do say so myself.
Absolutely. Hey. Every time you're on screen. And I'm sure off screen as well. And finally, last but not least, Zach.
Hi, I'm Zach Rivaldo, and I am playing your resident misanthropic Nosferatu, Yancey.
We love Yancey. And I'm Huddy. Hi, I'm your storyteller for this game. As always, this is a Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition actual play. We've gone over our safety and consent, but please check in with yourselves as your well-being is important to all of us who are playing. All the content warnings for this game will be down in the description below. So if you all are ready, lass uns anfangen. And let's return to Berlin. This time to Peacock Island. Yancey, it's been a few nights since you went with Edgar, Tullio, and Adelaide to Hamburg to rescue some members, including this Singer of Light, from the court of Prince Midian, the Malkavian. You were successful in your mission. You also brought back a woman who was in torpor that you found in a cemetery being fed on by Thinbloods. And you returned to Peacock Island to see if Dragon has indeed risen from the ground, and they have not. The bodies of all of these mutated wolves, however, are rotting at the moment, surrounding the, let's call it, gravesite where they currently are residing. The flesh smells sickly and sweet, like vomit in the hot sun, although it is only spring here in Berlin. Do you do anything? Try and communicate with Dragon? Do you throw the bodies into the Havel River? Do you do nothing? What do you do?
I do, in fact, throw the bodies into the river. I have enough potence that I just kind of hammer throw them into the water.
They are mottled,
rotting,
deformed. Their blood is black, yellow, sickly bile. There's about 3 of them.
Yep, so I just, grab them by the hind legs and just, drag them a bit and then spin, throw them, release, so they go flying into the river, because they're already mostly desiccated at this point, so they'll probably dissolve in the water in a matter of time at the rate that they're falling apart.
Now, we've established multiple times that Yancey spends a lot of time traveling, or has spent a lot of time traveling. How much do you think Yancey knows about what these creatures are?
I think that he has theories based on some of the things that he's seen, but he has not seen these things exactly. He has seen Zamisi make weird things.
Right.
He's heard about Pentex and about like the weird creature shit that they put out, but never actually encountered any of those things. He knows that fairy stuff exists and that can go a wide range of things. As for what these exact things are, no idea.
Okay. And we also have established that Yancey has at least heard the term Nefandi. And as far as their understanding is they are the boogeymen for the magicians.
Yes.
So, whatever this Shadowbane is, it's coming fully clear to you now that it is not just the Children of Death or Lucius Giovanni who wants it. This goes beyond vampire bullshit.
And that makes sense to me, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. So, do you attempt to communicate to Dragon, or do you make your way to Alexanderplatz to perform your magic for the night?
So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the area where Dragon would be resting. I know it's a ways down. I don't really have a way that I know of to communicate with them, apart from Le Sang d'Amour, which is not so much a direct communication as it is like a sense of presence.
Mm-hmm.
But I am going to like to sort of fiddle with that little vial for a bit to see if I can get any kind of a feeling back.
It takes quite a while of you fiddling with it. The sensation you get back is fear.
And because I don't know how well it communicates, I'm going to push back the closest thing I can to a feeling of resolve. And I'm hoping that dragon gets the impression that I am going to fix this.
You can certainly intend that with your feelings, but you get nothing back.
Yeah. Then I actually want to do something because I know that if it comes down to it, we have to actually be at the Shadowbane.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to dig. I'm not
Okay.
going to completely exhume the body of dragon,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm going to dig until I get to about where I'm pretty sure that they are. And then
Okay.
I'm gonna put the dirt back, and it's one of those things of just if I'm gonna have to get down there, I need that dirt looser.
Okay. Make me, do you have prowess?
Yes.
Activate prowess for me.
All right.
Make me a strength and athletics roll.
I do
Because
not
you
get
have
hungrier.
no idea how deep dragon is.
All right. That is 8 critical.
Perfect. You dig and dig and dig. And you dig so much that water from the river starts coming upwards. And you still haven't reached dragon. Dragon is in the water. Under the island.
I'm going to dig more until the water comes up to about my shoulders, which I'm a pretty tall guy, so that gives me
6'7". Yeah,
decent
you're pretty
amount.
tall.
Yeah, it gives me a decent amount of range.
Mhm.
That's about the point where I'm going to dig, and then I'm going to stop, and I'm going to just climb my way back out.
All right.
And I'm not going to. And looking at how deep I wound up digging, I'm not going to dig the. I'm not going to put the dirt back in. And just go, fuck it.
You know dragon's affinity with water. It kind of makes sense now that you've done all that work.
Yeah, it does, but I'm not gonna. Still not gonna dive under the island and hope that I can figure out where under the island it is. A straight shot down is at least worth it.
I think you would know dragon long enough now to think they might have encased themselves in ice.
Mm-hmm. Nevertheless, I still know that if we're going to resolve this, I'm going to have to eventually get to them. I'm going to have to get to it,
Yes.
whether or not they're happy about that.
Correct.
So I'm at least opening up a pathway to it. And then I go change into a different black hoodie, black pants, black shirt.
Of many, yeah. I'm sure dragon has
and
many, many different ones.
And exit the island.
Mm-hmm. Do you walk on the water or you take the little boat?
Yeah, it's a whole ritual to walk on the water. I'm going to take the boat.
So you take the little boat and you head down to Alexanderplatz, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's my usual spot to perform.
you get to your corner, your usual corner. It's usually empty. People who work the corners and stuff know now that this is yours, and they don't take it from you at certain hours of certain nights. And as you get to your corner, you see a young woman standing there, right in your corner. She's tall. She's almost 6 feet tall. She's wearing a leather duster, black shirt, black pants.
I walk up, I've got my things out, I just sort of put them together and I hold up like indicating like 10 minutes.
Mhm.
I'm just treating her like somebody's waiting for me on the show.
Mhm.
But I'm doing the thing that I do when I'm in character, which is I don't actually talk to my audience.
Mhm.
It's the whole like mute aesthetic thing.
And she sees what you're doing and she sort of cocks her head. And she says, Herr Yancey, I am here from my father, Lucius.
Oh, okay. I put the cards away. How is the guy?
I have no answer to that. I'm sorry. If you would...
Wait.
I have an invitation to looks for you.
You don't know how he is, but you're here to give me an invitation for him?
Those are my instructions.
Huh. When?
Now.
Am I supposed to follow you, or is it just an invitation?
I'm sorry, I have to go deliver another invitation.
Okay, good.
But there's
And
there's a
I
car
said
here
that
for you.
myself.
There's a car
Oh.
here for you to take you.
Okay, great. And I look over to the car and I go,
The man who's seated
just
there
like-
is got black hair. He's dressed very similarly to this woman, and he just rolls his eyes, lights up a cigarette.
and I just start setting up. If I'm not immediately being dragged somewhere, I'm gonna earn money first.
All right, and you perform your show. And when you get in that car, you get in that car for Calixtus to drive you somewhere to Lux.
Yep.
Irma gets into another car, driven by another man, and leaves. And we're going to move over to Anastasia, meine Hexe, in Berghain. You are doing what you do every night. You're up in your private booth, overlooking the area. You have your, let's call her handmaiden, Jessica, at your side, as always, the thin blood. And you're right now feasting on a thin blood that she brought to you. It's a dirty man from the alley, someone who is attempting to break in through the exterior. They seem to have been working for quite a long time to get in through the utility in the back. And you knew that they were doing this, and you told Jessica to wait until they actually got in and then bring him to you. And you're drinking from him. You may remove yourself to 0 hunger. I know that's a struggle for you at your advanced stage. And Jessica is just patiently waiting for you to finish draining him, and she says, it's been quite a few nights since that Adelaide has been by. I think it's extraordinarily disrespectful.
No. Grown quite tired of her tricks.
Really? The little hands that walk around?
Yes, hands, animals, humans. I mean, she's shown it all, so unless she has something else to show, perhaps I should call on her. But yes, no. Perhaps it might be time to call on someone else within that group who might be more entertaining at this moment. Both Adelaide and Edgar have already proven and discarded their use. Perhaps Imogen was interesting. She did seem genuine and malleable.
Jessica looks over to the Lilith statue. Where do you have it? Here.
Honestly, just on the table, but not in any honored position or anything. It's just there. It's not that, Anastasia necessarily cares for it or anything.
Do you, hang any, loose necklaces or things you have from your victims on it, or is it just plainly there?
No, actually the,
Drawn eyes on it? I don't know.
like googly eyes pointed on it. Yeah. No, but the victim jewelry stuff is kind of interesting. So that might happen. Again, it's not like she cares for it. It's just she got that, and the person behind the gift is more interesting than the gift itself. Yeah. It's next to the box that she got from Tulio. It's also just sitting there.
Oh, well, okay. Jessica maybe has her ear to the ground a little bit more than I thought. Yes, I've heard there's lots of rumblings going on with the Clan of Death. I heard Imogen has been elevated to some position much higher than she was when she met you. I don't know the specifics of it, though.
Perhaps if I can listen around and find out what the position exactly is, I can invite her over to talk about it. Seems like a good enough excuse as any.
And what about that box? Do you think that he's really going to put Lucius Giovanni's heart into it?
Well, he promised it. It would be rather disappointing if he didn't now.
I mean, that's fair enough, but if he wants to put his heart in it, he should have taken the box with him.
Or maybe he intends to walk inside here, bloody hard in his hand. I mean, I would enjoy a show, that's for sure.
Maybe he plans to kill Lucius right in front of you, to keep the heart fresh.
It would be interesting if he did. I don't expect he'll do something like that. But maybe with the right hints, he might.
And Jessica presses to her earpiece, and she says, Entschuldigung, meine Hexe. Ich muss zu die Tür. I must go to the door. And she heads down. And you look down and you see her head to the door and speak to one of the bouncers who's talking to her. And next to one of the bouncers is a young woman who looks extremely similar to Tulio and Imogen. She hands Jessica something, and then she absconds. Jessica comes back up, and she hands it to you. It's a white envelope.
Oh, take it and open it.
It is a handwritten note from Lucius, requesting you to, with loving words, loving tone, and wonderful penmanship, requesting your esteemed presence at his club in Charlottenburg called Lux.
Am I to presume that this club is new? No?
You would know that, based on the address, that this club was at one time a Camarilla-owned strip club, or pleasure club, called Maxim. Mostly it was for patrons to enjoy indulgences and blood dolls. But since the fall of Prince Preidenstein, what is it now? 7-ish years ago, the Camarilla has become quite stunted and fallen quite out of favor in most areas. And it seems that Lucius has taken up residence here and renamed it.
All right. As I read the invitation, I'll speak up. Well, it seems that Imogen has gotten away for tonight. Something more interesting might have come up.
The girl claimed to be Lucius's doctor.
Daughter. Yes, it appears that Lucius Giovanni has something planned for tonight. Seems as good a thing as anything for tonight.
Only took him 20 years.
I wonder if he has anything new up his sleeve by now.
Well, that would certainly be a surprise. I think what's even more interesting is the Witch of Kudam leaving Berghain.
She raises herself and sighs desperately. Yes, well, desperate times call for desperate measures. If I am to sit here and bore myself the entire evening, I might as well take a stroll.
You could have some fun. Alyosha, the bouncer, said that there is a disturbed-looking woman outside. Perhaps if you want to snack on the go.
Perhaps I wouldn't snack on her myself, but it's rude to not come with a gift.
Have a wonderful evening, meine Hexe. We will miss you.
Danke sehr. Ich weiß. I'll stand up and make my way downstairs to go
You get a
out.
lot of shocked looks from the crowd of people who see you actually descend the stairs.
I'm like glancing left and right to see if something interesting would still catch my attention. So there's like bored glances all around, but as I reach the door, I take a final look and I'm like, and I just
It's been no one exciting since Lam.
yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
unfortunate. But as you exit out, and you do see that there's a car waiting for you here, a black sedan. You see someone. You have to do a double take. You have to blink. Very human affectations that you're not used to doing. You see someone you haven't seen since the 13th century wandering around. She's even wearing attire that's a little later than the 13th century, the 15th century, but she's wandering around outside of Berghain. It is Penelope. She looks extremely disoriented and confused.
Mein Gott. Der Abend würde gerade interessant. I take a few steps there towards her. And as I take a moment to make sure that this woman does look as closely to Penelope as possible.
She looks exactly the way that she looked the last time you saw her in the court of Prince Midian in Hamburg, around 1260.
Penelope?
She turns to you. Penelope has long dark hair that looks incredibly unkempt. She's wearing a ball gown that is practically falling apart from age and not being kept up at all. It's like a verdant green color, at least it was. And she looks at you. Oh, it cannot be. Anastasia.
Mein Gott, du lebst.
Lebe ich doch. What are you doing here?
I should very much ask you the same thing.
I was brought here. What happened? It used to be a farm. What is this? Berlin?
Yes, a lot has quite changed. Looking at you retire, I'm expecting there's quite a story behind this. How about, I'm sure this is all quite overwhelming for you. I'll take you inside somewhere and get you away from these streets.
They tried to keep me in the house, in a manor home, with all of these people in it, as if they don't know who I am. I am a child. Well, actually, I have no idea who I am anymore, Anastasia. One time I could say I was the child of Prince Dionysus. One time I could say that I was the right-hand man of Mikhail in Byzantine Empire. I can't say that anymore.
No, because the Byzantine Empire has been gone for centuries. Last time you were around, I mean, I assumed something had happened to you. all of a sudden I stopped hearing or seeing you.
Yes.
Last time I saw you were with Prince Midan.
Midian staked me and kept me as his little trophy pet for 200 some odd years. Maybe more, maybe less. I don't know. And then I don't know what happened. Then I ended up in a graveyard. And a strange man in a mask carried me out.
The way Midian was obsessed with you, it doesn't surprise me. Come inside and tell me.
Did you know he killed my Lucius?
No.
He did.
The man was quite obsessed with you.
Once I get my bearings, I will head to Hamburg and eat his heart.
I was about to say, I am smelling a little revenge story, and I am about to say the bastard gets everything he deserves.
I might eat his soul and see if I can get Lucius back.
Why not eat his heart first and make him experience it, and then eat his soul, and then there's always a way you can do lots of fun things with his soul. I know you. I know how creative you can be with that.
I had forgotten how much I missed you.
And I can say you are a sight for sore eyes, because, my god, the nights have become tired.
This horseless carriage will take us somewhere?
Yes, I think it is a great idea that you join me, but first I'll get you out of your ball gown. It's not that it's not lovely on you, it's just that a lot of heads will turn, and these days our kind have to be more careful about what they do and what attention they get.
She sort of turns around to the tunnel where all the thin bloods hang out, do their cookery, and in a flash, she's over there. And you see her interrogating someone to give her their clothes. And you may assist her if you want to, before you wrangle her into the car, because she'll just kill them and take it anyway.
I imagine that also, since like clothing now may be like made differently and like has different elements to it, so once she has someone that she's like basically going to say, give me your clothing and I'll kill you, I'll make sure that at least they're like relocated to a quieter piece, because I imagine that she wouldn't care.
No.
And back in the days that didn't matter, but
Not
nowadays
really.
we have a masquerade.
Yeah.
So
she doesn't know what that is, because that
Yeah.
wasn't a thing that existed back then.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna explain any of that. I'll just like slightly make sure that the two of them are taken to like around the corner where no one can see. Then she can kill the person. Then she can take the clothes.
She does, and she drinks from them, drains them completely dry as you did, and she takes person's wearing like a halter top and like bell bottoms are coming back wearing bell. It's sort of like rubbish chic, sort of bohemian chic, right? That she puts on, and she sort of looks at it. This what people wear is very exposing. Kind of like it though.
I imagine that Anastasia like physically helped her put on some things and get her out of the ball gown, because those things were not made to put on and take off by yourself.
This kind of reminds me of growing up in Greece a little bit.
In what way?
Oh, before Christianity came around, this was much more normal.
Then I'm
I predate it. As do you.
I'm sure you will enjoy these current nights much more than what you're used to then.
Yes, but I heard Cappadocian got diablerized.
Yes, not exactly what you are, but your specific bloodline is extremely rare these nights.
Maybe I'll have to change that.
You can change that. I'm not even going to say be careful, because if there's one person who doesn't need it, it's definitely you. But do know that you can be on the offensive, because others have been in the offensive in the past on your kind.
We'll see.
I'll gently guide her with me to the car, and I'll also tell one of the bouncers to inform Jessica or anyone else inside to at least take away the body and the ball gown that are there, because we're not going to just let that lie around.
Alyosha's been your ghoul, and he's a thin blood, for going on 60 years now, so he's got it.
Oh, and as he goes and does that, I'll also explain to Penelope, like, these nights, there are also Alyosha's over there, who is now carrying out what I instructed him to. Our Vitae is deluded in him and his kind. These knights are called Finbloods. They are not as potent as we are, but they're not quite human. There's something in between. They're very useful.
Yes, tasty too. Yes, Midian used to read that to me when he would take the steak out and he'd read me bedtime stories and then put the steak back in. He'd read me from the Book of Nod. Time of the Tin Bloods. I hate him.
Maybe you can... Do you know if Midian hated Finbloods?
Yes, he did.
Oh, maybe we can put up a little show for him. To drive in the stake even more.
Oh, Anastasia, do you think I could lure him to Berlin?
If you want to, you just have to say it.
Let me think about it. Show me where this horseless carriage will go.
Yes, I'm sure we could make it quite a show, and no one these current nights is foolish enough to decline an invitation from me.
Sure.
I'll take you to meet some interesting people.
You always knew the most interesting ones.
I seek them out, I suppose.
Or we find you.
One can only hope.
So as you drive into the night with Penelope, oh my god, it's going to be great catching up on the last 800 years.
So where have you been?
750 years.
Oh my god, me too.
Penelope wasn't born during the Peloponnesian War or anything. Anyway, moving on to Lucius. Lucius, you came back from the Shadowlands tonight, and you sent your daughter, your ghoul, Irma, out to invite your compatriots to come to your club to have to catch up, have some talks. You haven't spoken with Yancey or the witch in 20 years, and don't know. How does Lucius feel seeking out friendship, bringing friends in? Is this stemming from Lucius feeling some type of way about his childer not returning with the Shadowbane?
Yeah, I think he is feeling stuck. Mm-hmm. And trust is a very strong word for some kindred, but I feel like Lucius has a soft spot for both the witch and for Yancey, and so he has extended special invitations and prepared special events for the night just for them.
All right. Would you like to tell me what special events you've arranged? And secondly, where is your mother?
Probably tonight, my extended family, as well as my mother, are probably all in one place, probably supervised by one of my followers, because I know one of them is a little bitey. But
I imagine she's down in the trap room.
Yes,
Okay.
all of them are comfortably arranged in the trap room for the moment. It's not like I'm never going to let them out, but that is
Okay, so let me get a little bit more clarity here. Your aunt Isabella, who's a white, who you removed from Seneca, or your followers removed from Seneca Manor, she's staked, or she's free in the trap room?
I feel
The storyteller just needs clarity.
well, that would be so much fun to just kind of leave them down there to play. No, the white is staked, probably every now and again unstaked to see if there's any change or anything we can do.
Yes.
for the
I will
feed.
tell you, if you have Isabella unstaked, Ariana and Isabella seem to get along just fine.
Wow. Okay. Well, maybe they both are as heartless as each other.
Yeah,
or as
Ariana's
close to
not
the
a
beast.
white, but they seem to get along just fine.
That's disturbing. But
Depends on
every
your point of view.
well, it's happy families, isn't it? And that's what Lucius has been playing with the outcasts of his.
Sure has. Your mom, Hannelore Lamia, is she staked or is she free?
No, Hannelore specifically would have been unstaked and cared for as quickly as possible.
All right. And so you keep her under guard, though?
For their own protection.
Sure. Not because she's a flight risk. Sure. Okay. That's perfect. Would you like to tell me what events you have set up as you wait for your friends to arrive?
So inside of Lux, there is the entire place is kind of shaped like an inverse ziggurat.
Yeah.
Various levels in a square, down to a central dance floor, and other things floor. But at various levels, there are things like close-up magic, and like at one level, it's all close-up magic and carnival and circus acts in appropriately drab and dramatic attire.
And everyone wonders why I want Lucius to win.
He's already winning, can't you tell? And there is a few rooms in kind of inside underneath those levels that are private for extracurricular activities that people might want to partake in. And then in Lucius's personal room, there is a special ritual setup.
All right. I'm sure we'll get into what that ritual may or may not be. So, as you sit here and wait, is there anyone who is already here? And that would be your mother, the white. The Hector Milliner, who is also your brother. He's at least your father's son. He's your half-brother. Urbano Pisanope or Maurizio Putanesca, who are already here. They have some news for you, but they are not going to... You are the Crown of Shadows. They show total deference to you. They feel honored that you've invited them here. They are enjoying the festivities, the blood that you provided, all of those things. Would you like to speak to any of them, or would you like to speak to your mother or your followers?
He would probably start the evening by speaking to the most important people, aside from the ones who aren't here yet, and that would be his mother.
Uh-huh.
Everyone else has to wait.
Mm-hmm. Does your mother have her own room in Lux? That's like her
Course.
personal room, okay? So upstairs, adjacent to your room, Hannelore is up there. Of course, Hannelore is, as we've established, is 212 centimeters tall, just about 7 feet tall. You provided her with clothes and everything that she needs, I assume. She's wearing a long black plain dress, and she has 3 men guarding her door. One of them being Dominicus, who is a tried and true follower of yours. They're all standing there, and they move out of the way when you approach her door.
I knock.
Mm-hmm.
And wait.
And Hannelore says, "Come doch rein. Come in."
And I open the door and quickly close it behind me. And I just take a moment and smile and take in my mother.
Mm-hmm. She stands there, very prim and proper, and she has her hands folded, and she says, "How are you doing this evening, my son?"
I am hopeful. For the first time in a very long time. How are you?
I am healing quite well and fast. I hear a lot of noise out there. Are you having a party?
I am. There is a couple of guests of honor this evening.
She walks right up to you and she starts brushing off your coat and adjusting the necktie that you have on. Just, well, you have to look presentable, Lucius. I know I didn't get a chance to teach you how to tie your tie, but you need to look presentable for your guests.
Thank you. There's always time that we can use to make up for what we lost.
She puts her hand on your face. I don't know how to thank you for saving me from your aunt and what has become of her.
There's a sadness in me for her state.
I see you care deeply for your family. But I must ask, Lucius, what is it that you want from me here? Do you want me to stand at your side? You know, I do not support the Shadow Bane and its usage.
I know. But I do hope that you share my deep love of our family. Unity will not come if we stand divided by one thing.
She puts her hand on your face. We did lose so many years, didn't we?
Is it wrong that I do not regret how I was raised and the history that I have inherited?
No, Lucius, it's not wrong. You know nothing else than what you learned from Andreas and Roger and Seneca.
And please support me.
I support you with my love, Lucius. Always.
And that is enough.
If it's all right with you, I will stay in my room. I'm not quite healed enough yet for entertaining guests.
Anything you need, let one of them know. I do have one last question.
Anything.
What is the state of a relationship with my father?
Valentino is a weak man. You know, I'm sure you know, you have many brothers and sisters. But there was a time when he truly did everything for you. And when we lost you, he was lost and never found himself again.
And yet when I return, he cannot look me in the eye.
He's ashamed, Lucius.
As he should be.
I don't disagree with you. You have his eyes, though.
I have my family's eyes.
And of that he is still a part.
Oh. If there are any party favors that you would like, please feel free. But I'm awaiting my special guests.
If you have the time, at any point, something that would remind me of the Dark Mother from my room to help me with my prayers would be most loving of you.
Is there a plant that you prefer?
I do love chrysanthemums.
Very well.
And she kisses you on the lips. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night. As you close the door behind to Hannelori's room, you see that your child, Irma, has returned. And she hasn't returned alone. You don't see Yancey or the witch here, not yet, but you see your other daughter, Ariana, come in. Now, Ariana, of course, she's your daughter, and you love her in your way that you love people. And she is grotesque, to say the least. You embraced her long after her death, when Imogen had bashed in her skull with a brick. So she has a very significant concaved line here in her forehead, and her eye is sort of peeled back like this from where the brick entered. She also has a large stab wound in her heart that never healed, because you're static when you're embraced, so whatever you look like then is what you look like forever. And she enters in with two people. One of whom is your father, staked, and the other is a young man you don't know. But, he looks like a Giovanni to you. And Ariana bounds up towards you as she sees you from the upper area, and she says, "Papa, I'm back!"
I throw open my arms for a hug, obviously.
And she drops Valentino, or Osric as he goes by now, unceremoniously on the ground and runs up to you and hugs you. "I brought you gifts, Papa."
Thank you. Have you had a nice evening?
Oh, it was the best. Did you know that Imogen is leading the Bahari now? It was so funny. I did everything I could not to laugh.
Not laugh? That is a very important position.
Papa, the leader of the Bahari is in there, is the Oma.
She may have something to say about that, but that is not our problem, and we may watch.
Well, they were going to cut off Opa's head, right? And I said, well, you can't do that. Papa hasn't said goodbye to him. That is so rude. So I got him out when the Sabbat attacked the Bahari Manor. Apparently, the leader of the Sabbat hates one of Tulio's friends. It's so funny. Hates us so much that they attacked the whole manor. It was nuts. And so I just snuck in, grabbed him, and left. And this one, and she points down to the man on the first floor, he followed me. He was tracking me. He's a baby. You can smell it on him. And so I convinced him to follow me, and now he's going to do whatever I say.
Well, do not dispose of him until he has made himself useful.
No, it'd be very rude. He's my uncle, because he's your brother. You have so many brothers, Papa.
Yes, our family is spread wide in its roots.
Yes, Opa was a slut.
Now, you may not make me laugh like that.
But I love to make you laugh, Papa. You don't laugh enough. Not like you did when it was all four of us together, because there was so much hope. I miss that. I just want everybody back home.
We can change. That is what I am hopeful for.
What should I do with Opa? Should I put him with Oma, or what should I do with him?
No, do not put him with my mother. Somewhere safe and segregated in the trap room.
So Isabella shouldn't eat him.
I would like to have one last conversation with him.
Okay. And what about the boy?
Well,
His name is Kenneth.
it is important to know who his sire is before we play with him.
It's Tulio. I know all the information, Papa. I'm so good at listening.
You have done very well.
I know. And I will find for you the Shadow Bane as well.
Ah, you wish to be the true heir. This is good news all evening. Well, there is a spot at my right-hand side.
It's mine, Papa.
Keep up this, and it very well may be.
She smiles brightly, and she picks your father up and throws him over her shoulder. And she says, I'll release the boy. You can do whatever you want with him.
I would not take a placing from you, but
He's
I
not
would like to
very
see him.
interesting to me.
Well, he was side by Tulio.
Yes. So I think he's more interesting to you, honestly.
We will let fate decide the boys.
Fate?
Yes.
And she hugs you again. And she bounds down the stairs. Irma is much more reserved, much more like Tulio. And she stands next to Kenneth and waits for you to come to her. She is your willing servant, always. Do you approach her? Do you approach Kenneth? Or do you wait for your guests to arrive?
I'm going to go up to Kenneth.
Mm-hmm. Kenneth looks like a terrified deer.
Welcome, brother.
Shit.
No, do not despair. Our family is safe here. Why haven't you heard?
I have heard very, very little about you. But I'm guessing you're Lucius.
It was Kenneth. I'm just gonna be quiet and watch him squirm for a little while.
As you watch him squirm, outside of Lux, Yancey and the witch, you arrive roughly at the same time. Who gets out of the car first?
Both at the same time. Come on.
Yeah, probably. Honestly, I'm not gonna dramatically wait. I already made them wait. I don't want to be in the car.
I mean, the witch made them wait too. That's why Lucius is like, where are they?
They're busy. I don't want to be. I don't actually want to be in the car. So once it pulls up, I get out of the car.
Yeah, I imagine I'm talking to Penelope as we get out to explain to her that what we're going to is a nightclub and
Mhm.
people will be partying there and it's all normal. You can partake in anything.
And you're like Camarilla, Anarch, Sabat.
Hecata.
Yeah, the whole, I mean, you're trying to like rapid fire through it. And Penelope is, no slouch when it comes to being clever,
Yeah.
but she's just like, at some point, she just stops, tunes it out, and stares out the window because she just can't absorb any more information.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that the moment that it comes from her side, it's about basically she was staked a whole long time, and it's just about her hatred for Midian.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell her anything about the people there. So just so I haven't told her about Yancey or Lucius. And yeah, I imagine I'm explaining the nightclub thing when we're getting out of the car.
So, like, it's like a tavern. Like a tavern.
Yes, exactly. And because of the person who invited us, I'm assuming inside everything will be safe and you will be able to do as you wish.
And he's like me.
Yes, this party is safe for people like us.
No, he's like my blood. He is an offshoot of my blood.
Yes. Huddy, just so I know, and I'm not mistaking this myself, the Giovanni nibbled up the Cappadocians entirely, right? Yeah.
Not entirely. They thought
Okay.
they tried to. They nibbled Cappadocian, their antediluvian, but
Okay.
obviously they didn't get all of them because otherwise the Harbingers of Skulls never would have gotten together and taken revenge 1,000 years later.
All right. Cool. But is there a reason why? No, because she didn't. Did she experience it? Is there a reason why she would have any bad feelings towards Giovanni?
No, Augustus Giovanni diabolized Cappadocius around the mid 15th century, so like mid 1400s. She wasn't even aware of it.
Yeah. No. Okay. Cool. That's all I needed to know. Yes, he is similar to you. He's an offshoot, indeed.
Yes, I heard a lot of offshoots. Rossellini, Lamia. I heard a lot of names.
They have too many, honestly. It's almost like the mortals these days with they have a name for everything. Maybe they just want to be eccentric that way.
Well, it must be very boring only living how long do humans live? Like 50 years?
About, I presume.
I mean, you have to do something to liven that up because it's so short.
Yes, that is quite true. Although it never really piques my interest, but maybe give it another 100 years and something will change.
Not in my experience, but I take your meaning. And as you both get out of the car, Penelope points at Yancey, like obviously, overtly, totally out of characteristic for what's considered appropriate at the time, just points one finger at Yancey. I know that one.
See, I was gonna ask if I was able to recognize Penelope because of like the change of attire and whatnot, but I imagine a woman that looks kind of familiar that's just like Invasion of the Body Snatchers pointing at me stands out.
Exactly. I know that one. That's the one that carried me out of Hamburg.
Then I presume I still have to introduce you. She also turns. That's Yancey. He's like us.
I'm walking up to the group, like,
Yancey, evening.
hey, I didn't realize that you two knew each other. I also didn't realize that you were out of the house.
If you carry a corpse out of a house, it's only natural that you don't know who they're connected to.
Well, that's true. Didn't seem right to leave you being a buffet for a bunch of youngins, though. So, it is what it is.
Don't worry, I'll eat them one by one when I go back to Hamburg.
That makes sense.
Thank you for rescuing me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess really thank the others. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to leave you or take you, and they wanted to take you, so I just kept taking you.
I don't want to thank them.
Okay. I get that.
I do want to find that girl, though. I got a taste
one?
of her blood. It was magnificent.
Which one?
A girl. I don't know. Human girl.
Oh, not the one with me. Okay.
She's special. She got the wood out of my heart to wake me up. They wouldn't let me eat her, though.
Yancey,
okay.
did you go with the entire little children of clan? Little group?
Most of it.
And I'm presuming that Edgar's ghoul was there as well.
Not great with faces.
I'm
Probably.
sure she would have caught your attention.
Yeah, probably.
Thank you, either way, for taking Penelope out of that house.
Well, like I said, staked under a graveyard that the prince seemed to not want to mention when asked us to investigate the graveyard, being snacked on by a bunch of kids. That's a hell of a way to be stuck.
And the nights got a lot more interesting because of you.
Oh, good. Well, glad to help. Seems interesting enough to pull you out of your little box.
No, you're the only one who does tricks with little boxes. Shall we go inside?
Yeah, let's see what Lou has us coming out to see.
This is much more elaborate than a tavern.
Yeah, it's not really like a tavern. It's like a festival, but the whole thing's in a building.
What did you say his name was?
Me?
Who owns this tavern?
One who shares the namesake of the one you lost, Lucius.
Yes, let's go inside.
Alright.
So, Lucius, as you're standing there making Kenneth squirm, and he is squirming, Yancey, the witch, and a woman you don't know walks into your establishment. And Yancey, immediately you can clock that Kenneth is here. And I'll let you roll a wits and insight to see just exactly his state at the moment. And of course, Anastasia, you know Kenneth. Last time you knew him, though, he was a ghoul. And a blood doll. But he's definitely not that anymore.
He was the one who Edgar desperately wanted to get out of.
He's Edgar's godson.
Yeah, the one we had the interaction with. Alright.
Yeah, he's Olivia and Osric's son.
He's a reoccurring plaything.
And he's, yeah.
I got 3 successes.
3 successes. Kenneth looks real nervous.
Cool. Well, my face doesn't change, so, you know.
As soon as Kenneth clocks you, Yancey, he looks at you and he says, "Oh, is that why she brought me here? Because I owe this fucker in the mask a bunch of money?" And he turns to you and he says, "Look, man, I told you I would pay you when I got the money, all right? Don't hassle me, don't harass me." And his eyes are desperate and pleading.
Yeah, I just go, "Hey, look. This is a coincidence. We've still got our own shit to settle. I'm not here to collect."
Well, I'm getting tired of running into you all the time at Alexanderplatz, you know, when you're hassling me for the money that I owe you. So I will, if it's all right with the host here, I will leave with you, and we'll head to the ATM, and I'll get you your fucking money, so you'll leave me the fuck alone. I never have to see you again.
Jeez, like seriously, like that's your big concern right now. Is this?
Can I don't know how we're positioned right now, but I I mean, sure, this was interesting, but he's rambling on about money, and Anastasia's kind of tired of that. So she wants to, in a moment, like, step in a bit to the side so that he maybe briefly looks at her, and she wants to just use dominate and tell him
Oh my god,
to...
I was gonna do exactly the same thing.
And she basically, like, takes a little, like, a moment just to catch his attention and says, "Oh, will you please shut the fuck up for 1 second?"
You may roll me manipulation and dominate, and he'll roll his intelligence and resolve, which isn't great.
Sure thing, buddy.
Which isn't great. That's a critical success, though. That's 4.
Manipulation and
Dominate.
Okay.
It's less than stellar. What is that for you? 10 dice? Fuck. Poor Kenneth.
You ever played Warhammer? It's like that.
6 successes.
Yep.
No.
So he immediately shuts up. But he's hoping that Yancey got the message at this point.
I just go,
Fantastic. Kenneth, and I'm going to dominate him now. Go and enjoy the party, and then come see me when it's over.
Manipulation and dominate. Whoa! 6 successes, Kenneth!
Holy shit, I got 4.
He nods his head. And again, dominate isn't a thing, it's like submerged directive and stuff. You don't know that it doesn't work, right? Forgetful mind, all that stuff. He nods his head, and he walks off to the party, flicking one last look at Yancey before he does.
I watch him go and look to Lucius and go, "Sorry, dude, he keeps popping up in my usual spot. Is that going to be a problem? Do you mind? I'd like to actually get my fucking money when we're done with all this."
Of course not. Tonight you are the VIPs. Masker und Hexe. Willkommen in der Unterwelt.
Well, thanks for the invitation. It's a hell of a place.
Yes, the Camarilla did not know how to dress this place up, so I took a little bit of initiative.
You probably could have stopped with the Camarilla didn't know how to, though. But yeah, I get the impression.
So, seeing as what you just called it, did you base the decor on the Shadowlands, or is there another inspiration?
There are many inspirations, but I felt like bringing a little bit of the Shadowlands into this world was exactly what I needed.
I was getting a real kind of a Vegas feel to it. Have you been to Vegas?
I have not been to Vegas.
There's a pyramid there in Vegas as well. It's got kind of a similar name, but it's upright. I like the whole inversion thing.
Yes, you step
There is
down.
an inverted pyramid in Vegas? What?
Well, no, the inverted pyramid is here. It's upright in Vegas.
Oh, all right. Curious.
The woman who is with Anastasia has not stayed to listen to this conversation. Instead, instead not paid attention really to the conversation. So she's got very, very close to Lucius and just sort of just really intensely staring at him.
At that, Anastasia kind of remembers that she brought someone, and she'll say, "Yes, where are my manners, Lucius? I took it upon myself when I saw your invitation to bring a guest. I'm sure you will enjoy each other's company. This is Penelope."
It is a pleasure to meet you, Penelope. And he offers his hand.
She takes your hand.
And he kisses it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bow.
She looks to Anastasia. Oh my, but he does have manners, doesn't he?
One of the few things I cannot give up.
Yes, that's something he has.
Real charmer. So, what's the occasion? Is it like a grand opening thing, or?
Unfortunately, you missed that. I was not sure that the witch would leave Berghain for something so inconsequential.
Fair enough.
It's been, what, 5 years since you've seen it? I know this is wrong. I know it is wrong, alright? It's been 5 years since I last saw you. I mean, I'm sure there must be something interesting about you now.
little longer, but yeah.
Time flies quickly. I may not have changed at all, I don't know. That is for your eye to decide. Yet, this is a place of debauchery and sin and entertainment. So if you would like, you can use or enjoy any part of it you wish. But I do have a special surprise for you when you are both ready.
All right.
Penelope, who is still very close to you, Lucius, she starts smelling. You smell like the Deadlands.
You are versed in...
Yes. And I need, because this is a special homebrew Huddy thing, I need you to roll me your unspent willpower, Lucius.
Oh,
This
she's gonna do something.
No. This is a special homebrew Huddy thing that I make all of the Berlin Bloodlines coterie do whenever Ilse Asher is around, a Cappadocian, or when Edgar went and visited Roger de Camden in Scotland, to learn more about Lucius. I made them roll willpower to be among the original progenitor of the Clan of Death. Except for Adelaide, because the Nagaraja don't come from the Cappadocians. They're
Yep.
weird snake people.
Yep, them and a couple of other people are
Yeah.
weird outliers.
Yeah.
That was a bad roll on a lot of dice. 3.
3, you don't have to be like super deferential and quixotic to her, but you do feel like it's almost this strange feeling of like you're in the presence of royalty, and you remember this feeling with being with Roger. Very rarely were you able to get over that with Roger. So yeah, you definitely feel like she is a Cappadocian. You know that right off the bat.
Yeah, and I recognize that. Okay.
Yeah.
My apologies. I did not realize I was in the presence of one of the progenitors of our esteemed bloodline.
Well, you are.
Welcome. And yes, I have spent a lot of time in the Deadlands.
Are you searching for something?
Always.
I, too, am searching for something. I've been searching for something for... Sorry, it's hard to now tell time. Roughly 1,200 years.
I
Of course.
think your goals, Penelope, might just very much align with Lucius over here.
Have you recently awoken by any chance?
I did. Just 2 nights ago.
Then let me offer any services that I can provide for you.
This seems like a very festive thing that you're doing. Perhaps we could spend time alone in the future, and you could give me any information that you have about the way that I might reincarnate a soul.
Yes, that is a very interesting thing to try. There are several different ways, and all of them dangerous in their own. But we should not bore my other guests.
I wouldn't dream of it. And she starts wandering off to look at what you have.
Go ahead.
Okay, I didn't know that you cared so much about bringing stuff back to life. I thought it was more in the other direction, Lucius.
They are two sides of the same coin. The Grim Reaper, he lives where nothing is, and he both gives and takes life. Coming from it or going to it, they are the same.
Same road, I guess.
Lucius, would you say that your goals with the Shadow Bane, would you say that it would be you, I don't know, emerging of the world of the living and the world of the dead, in a way?
That is how I envisioned it. Why? What do you see?
Just always curious. Anyway, you have a lot of festivities here, but you know that I care a little about the activities and more about the people. So please, show us around the place. Be with us.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. Are you still looking for that thing? I haven't heard from you in like years about it. I figured that you probably just changed courses.
Yes, well, the disappointing, and he's going to like walk and show them various interesting people trussed up in various weird places and doing a variety of savory and unsavory things. And yeah, my children. I believed in the potential for finding and delivering this to us, but I have had to find alternatives. For once, I can feel my patience ebbing away.
Alternatives to the thing you're looking for, or alternative ways to find it?
Alternatives to fate.
I'm not going to pretend I know what that means.
I have tried to follow a prophecy.
Oh, no, please go ahead. I was just motioning to Huddy that I wanted to do something, but I was waiting for you guys to finish.
Oh. Okay.
Bitte, meine Hexe.
I wanted to describe us all on Lucius when he was talking about changing fate, because he's being ominous here, but I might get a glimpse about what he means behind the words.
Roll me a rouse check and resolve an aspect.
Yes.
And as Lucius is talking, you see other people here who are clearly vampires, Yancey. You see 3 men seated on a couch together, and they're talking. When you approach, all 3 of them seem surprised that the witch is here. They know who she is, or at least of her. They don't seem to know who you are. But they look at Lucius with great deference and sort of incline their heads to him. You can tell that they have something they want to say to him, but they aren't going to approach him until he gives them leave to. So you're getting the impression that Lucius holds, at least charismatically, a significant amount of power or presence amongst these people. Yes,
and I will point to that. Like, oh, looks like they seem really into you.
Yes, there are some who share my vision.
5 successes for Scry the Soul. What exactly are you looking for in Lucius's soul?
What he envisions and what his newfound hope is that he has a different way to use fate to get what he wants. What it is that he envisions behind that, or sees when he sees this new way of fate.
I am also going to verbally push towards that conversation, but yeah, I guess if there's anything else that he doesn't say.
Lucius, what would you say the answer to that question is?
I feel like the answer is mostly that he has he's hedging his bets because he feels, and this is probably something that is quite prominent in his aura, is the rejection and disappointment and all of that from the rest of his family. So he is just talking about how he can manipulate the people and the Shadowlands to his own benefit, basically.
Okay.
With 5 successes, there is a glint of hope still in Lucius, coming from someone very close to him. You are aware he has 2 childer, Tulio and Imogen. You aren't aware if he has any other childer. You know, Irma is not, the woman who gave you the invitation or gave Jessica the invitation, is not a kindred. But there is a glint of hope for someone still in his group, apparently. And with 5 successes, something strange happens when you read his soul.
I meant to do premonition as well, but we're going with Scry the Soul now.
That's fine. I'm sort of mixing the two because you are exceptionally old, and before you were a Tremere, you were a youthful hermetic mage. So you have a lot going for you. you see something else in his soul. Because it's not his soul. There's someone else in there that lives within Lucius's soul. And this person hates him. This soul wants to destroy the Shadowbane. This soul is crying out to be reconnected to where it belongs with the rest of his soul. Super strange.
Is it logical for me to interpret this as a consequence of diablerie, or does this feel like, okay.
It's a consequence of diablerie, but there's also something wrong with it. With only 5 successes, that's as much as I can really give you.
All right.
Well, while Lucius is still telling me about like hedging his bets and whatnot, I'm prodding for information at this point. Like, okay, but like, does this still end in you like merging the two planes together and like bringing death and destruction on everybody, or are you like chilled out on that at this point?
You believe this is the apocalypse?
I believe it could be a apocalypse.
Monumental change does feel desperately needed in my case.
I mean, all the old heads were calling Gehenna the apocalypse, and supposedly it already came and went. So apocalypses are cyclical. They say so. One sounds a little bit more permanent to me.
The 3 men on the couch begin snickering. They're trying to cover it, but they can't help it.
And I'm still talking, but like I just immediately like flip them off in the process of talking. Like, but yours seems a little bit more permanent, all things considered.
How do you feel the how do you feel that the Bronze Age civilizations felt when the men from the sea arrived? Their kings, their kingdoms, and everything they held dear disappeared in front of them, turned to ashes, and yet the world did not end.
Well, it did for them.
And so it will for all mortals. But the changes to the world, whether permanent or fleeting, must be brought on by powerful people who know how to use them.
Yancey, you really mustn't be too quick about saying that something is permanent. Things rarely are. What Lucius is planning here, why assume it is permanent?
Well,
I've rarely witnessed something that is.
I say permanent in the sense of all life on the planet, and I mean life with a capital L, life, getting snuffed out by the Shroud of Death. I'd call that part of it permanent. And look, the movies say life finds a way. I don't know how well you're going to grow a tree in the Shadowlands.
Penelope speaks up at this point. And she says, I'm sorry, masked one. What do you think will happen when the Shadowlands and the Skinlands merge?
Well, the impression that I got from our gracious host here is that the things from the Shadowlands have some free reign on this plane, which can lead to excessive death of living things and civilization as we currently know it. But if I'm wrong, I'd love to be wrong.
Civilization as you currently know it. To usher in a utopia. A perfect balance of life and death. A golden era.
So people are still going to be alive.
The ones who are strong. The ones who are meant to survive.
I told him the exact same thing.
You did, but you showed me You showed me like you told me this in the Shadowlands when everything was all grim and dead, and I was watching ghosts get turned into machines and shit. It's a conflicting image.
Of course. The right message at the right time. And yet, I have told you this.
You have, and I'm still not huge on it, all things considered. But I'm also not your clan, so to be expected. I understand we're going to have a difference of opinion on this one. I'm not exactly a power player in the city, so nothing to worry about there.
Oh, don't talk down on yourself like that, Yancey.
You very bravely stood up to Prince Midian, who is twice your age, if not more.
I haven't been burdened with an overabundance of critical thinking.
You do very well in this new world that Lucius wants to usher in.
See, now, friend, I know that you only know me from like that little bit of interaction. My world is one of entertainment, interaction, finding bits of joy in the midst of the daily doldrum and grind. So the bit that I'll explain to Lucius here is I don't see that existing in this utopic world. It sounds like a lot of death and a lot of Darwinism. Do you know who Darwin is? I don't actually know.
I don't.
Okay. Survival of the fittest.
Yes. But there will be joy. Do you think that the Geister don't need someone to make them laugh before we eat them? They taste better when they're happy.
I know that what I do seems kind of like a court jester, but I prefer to get paid.
You can get paid in the blood.
I do.
What else would you possibly need? Are you implying that you need currency?
I don't know if our witchy friend here has given you the full rundown of how civilization works, but given that we're currently operating in a world overrun by humans, I'll speak in your terms, being able to move within their society has its benefits, especially when they make a lot of things that we never thought ourselves to make.
This one is very funny. Like a court jester.
You would do well to listen to him. He has his insights.
I see that. But in this new world, there is no need for these things. Currency, innovation. We can control it all.
Yeah, that's the impression I got the last time.
Lucius,
But it sounds like, Lucius, though, you're trying to find a different avenue for that since your original approach was yielding low results.
Yes, well, if you want to know about ghosts, where do you go?
Apart from graveyards?
Well, yes, I have spent a few night strolls, but that is not what I meant.
No, I'm assuming back down where we went before.
Aside from the world of kindred politics and the streets and their struggles, my own research, my own energies have been focused on the Deadlands, and even though I have tried to follow the lines of fate in a different way than usual, they have been bringing me somewhere new again and again. So your insights, all of you, would be welcome if you would like to visit.
You mean going back down there?
You do not have to.
Who knows,
maybe-
Yancey? Maybe if you return once or twice, you'll start finding the entertainment you seek already.
I don't know about that one, but you did invite me all this way. I'd feel like it would be rude to refuse.
No.
As the three, Hamish, I was saying Hector before. Hamish, Maurizio, and Urbano are sitting on the couch and listening to this conversation. Hamish dares to stand up. Hamish, who is one of your brothers, says, "My lord, I do not wish to take away from your revered guests, but before you leave, we do need to speak with you."
Please, excuse me while I deal with some of my family business.
And I need to know specifically, of course, the witch as well, but specifically Yancey, if you're going to attempt to listen to this conversation.
I have the ability to listen to the conversation without getting closer to it. So if they are moving away from me,
We probably would.
Then I'm going to I'm probably going to do my whole, I'm going to do my whole, like, okay, well, we're supposed to wander about, and so I'm going to wander about.
I'm not gonna make it difficult for you to leave us, though.
I know that. But still, I'm going to do my wander about thing, and then once I get a chance to wander about out into the crowd, I'm going to mask for 1,000 faces, and then continue to wander about, but closer to the conversation.
And I'll add in, the moment Lucius leaves, it's very obvious that Anastasia's like, oh well, there goes my source of entertainment for now. So she'll turn to Yancey and be like, why don't you lead my friend and I around here, and you can, I don't know, tell her about your insights of the modern knights. You're always so interesting.
Which does go a bit different than what I was aiming to do. So I'll go. Yeah, we can definitely do that. I'm going to do that for a little bit. At which point, in the middle, I'm going to hand with a little a little magic toy.
No. I'll say though, she would not realize, if you want to do it like that, if you were to guide them and like coincidentally go very close to the group and be like act like you're still entertaining them, but obviously be listening in, but they like wouldn't notice, wouldn't care. Like,
oh no, true. It does make it hard. It makes it hard for me to go unnoticed and do that.
Yeah.
Though, like, it will become very obvious that a 6'7" guy in a mask is still lingering around that group, which is what I'm worried about.
So, are you still going to try and employ Mask of 1,000 Faces while leading the witch and Penelope around?
No, because then it becomes very obvious what I'm doing.
All right.
Honestly,
I'm gonna lead them around.
I'll really tell, honestly, if you lead them around, you decide to mask up 1,000 faces, but like they know you're still Yancey, you're just like, you look like someone else. You could do the thing I said, where then you could lead the group closer, and it would look like they're like Penelope and the witch are talking to a random person.
I am gonna do that, and I'm going to explain to Penelope that this is because she likes variety and entertainment. So I'm going to lie and mask this as I am doing this for the witch's enjoyment.
Totally go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So first, make me a rouse check for Mask of 1,000 Faces. Doesn't require a roll.
In that one.
And make me a composure and awareness to see, and I'll let you know how much of that you'll pick up.
Okie dokie.
Make it count.
I'm working on it. I'm gonna rouse blood.
Mm-hmm.
I get hungrier.
Mm-hmm. 2 hunger. But
Yep.
there's plenty of blood around here.
Yep. 5 successes.
Perfect. You should be able to pick up everything.
Cool.
So, Hamish, Urbano doesn't go with you. Urbano stays on the couch. He's talking to Ariana, who has rejoined the group here. But Hamish and Maurizio go with you. And Hamish is someone who looks very similar to Edgar, who you remember from the Bahari ceremony, because they are also related. Hamish is Edgar's uncle. And he's tall with red hair. And he says, "My lord, a lot has happened within the family, and I need to let you know what's going on. It's important that you know."
Quickly.
Firstly, Olivia's dead. Your father shot her in the face.
I'm not surprised. That is what I wanted.
Great. None of us were either. He was slated to be executed, but someone took him from the manor. During the execution, or while we were gathering for the execution, the head of the Dunsarn bloodline now is my nephew Edgar. He brought a woman with him. And I don't know what she is, but I can infer. She has a glow about her. All of us could see it.
Mm.
And Maurizio pipes up and he says, yeah, I got a vial of her blood. That was sort of the deal I made to work with the Sabbat. The leader of the Sabbat had a vial of her blood. I wanted it. It's a long story, but I had heard about this woman before. She used to work right here in this building, Maxim. And one of my boys got real obsessed with her. Kept talking about her, saying she had a glow about her. This was years and years ago. I can't do anything with her blood. I've given it to Urbano, who is well versed in blood magic. He can't do anything with it.
So she is one of the faithful.
I don't know. We're guessing she's a singer of light. The one from the prophecy. The one who's meant to destroy the Shadow Bane.
That is worrying. But if that coterie has the Singer of Light, then they are hiding more than I anticipated.
I mean, they weren't just hiding. They were protecting her. The Nagaraja had fucking zombies surrounding her so that no one could come near her, and everyone wanted to. Everyone in the family wanted to, except for two. Two of the adopted Lamia showed no interest in her at all and looked real confused about how we were all kind of acting around her. One of them was a caitiff and one of them was a Toreador, and they had no idea why we were acting so weird.
Then there is a connection between our bloodline and her.
That's what I'm saying. I think she's part
Yes.
of the prophecy. And I think Urbano can't do anything with her blood because he's connected to the family.
Oh, I really do not want to ask.
The witch. That's why we were so surprised to see her here, because like we could just give her the blood, and then she could get rid of the Singer of Light, and bam, boom, you. Now there's nothing stopping us from looking for the Shadow Bane, and we don't have to worry about it. We can take our time looking for it.
Okay, here's a conundrum. But I would very much like to see the Singer of Light disappear. The likelihood that their coterie and the unity of our clan would survive it. If they are protecting her, and there must be a reason. And before she dies, I would like to know what that is.
I mean, give it to. I mean, yeah. Well, do you know anyone else besides the witch who knows how to do blood sorcery who's not a member of the family?
There are a few Camarilla, but I do not think that they like me very much.
They don't like any of us very much right now. Because, we're working with the Sabbat, but, just to keep the rest of the family busy. I mean, if you want, I could just kill her.
It cannot be one of us.
I can have the
We
spot
have half
color.
of the family here, and we are trying to get everyone together on the same page. That could bend them so much that they take half of our family and try to kill the other half again, and you know how that turns out.
My lord, I'm gonna level with you. Civil war is coming. They are not stupid. They get that the Shadowbane, they don't want the Shadowbane. They want to destroy it. There is no reason for them to be keeping her alive unless they want her to destroy the Shadowbane. I don't know what they're waiting for. Maybe they don't know where it is. Maybe they're looking for it and they're keeping her around so that she can destroy it.
Yes, I understand.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to push, but this is huge.
We will give the blood to the witch.
Can do.
But later. I have something I want to wish. I would like her to see first.
He takes the vial of blood that he has around his neck, Maurizio Puccinesca has. He takes it off and hands it to you. It was only for you, my lord.
Maybe there is no alternative to fate. Please, enjoy the party.
Hamish, before he leaves, says one thing. He says, something's sticking in the back of my craw a little bit. And I just gotta let it out. During the family dinner, Maria Rossellini said that the Shadowbane might be on Peacock Island. Tullio and his friends were very quick to say that that's not possible. All of them at once. It was a little suspicious. It might be worth looking into. If we can somehow get in touch with the dragon.
Unfortunately, I have made an arrangement.
With the dragon?
No. Yancey is here.
Right. That's Yancey. Okay. Everyone knows that the Yancey can get in touch with the dragon, so I guess that's the best bet. Everything is falling into place, my lord. Please do not give up hope. And Ariana, she will do anything to get the Shadowbane for you.
That is what I am worried about.
How so?
Anything can mean a lot of things. And while I love her with all my heart, her mind is scattered.
Yes. Hamish turns and looks at Irma. Perhaps the time is coming, my lord. For your next child.
I wish we had more time.
If we destroy the Singer of Light, we will.
Please, I would like to be left alone with my guests.
Of course. They all bow and head back to the couch where Albano and Ariana are just talking.
And I immediately head back to Yancey and the
And
witch. And
you have the
Penelope.
blood?
I have it. I hide it in a pocket. Not that that's going to stop them if they really want to.
Yeah. I just want to make sure you have it with you.
you.
I need to check in on Yancey. Yancey!
Yes.
How you doing, buddy?
Jingle jangle.
Yeah. I'm. Yeah. At this point, I'm just like pointing to stuff. For the other two, but I have been listening to that very intently. The thing I messaged you about still going, and I am sorting my options. I absolutely watched like when the blood was handed over, and the moment that they said that they're departing. Get back to my guess. I've switched back.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've broken Mask of a Thousand Faces. I'm
guess-
still part of the group.
I guess what the storyteller is asking
Yep.
is, where is Yancey's mind at in terms of how fucked are we?
Yancey has a nuclear option he doesn't want to use, and so he is going to see if there is any way to avoid that.
Mm-hmm.
By virtue of, can he interrupt things tonight, or can he find a way to interrupt things later?
You saw him pocket it.
Yep.
I know that you have very good sleight of hand.
Yep.
Just
But I'm going to
remind
I'm
you.
going to wait. No, I'm aware of that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to wait until we are in the Shadowlands.
All right. Excellent. You may rejoin your besties, who are Yancey right now. You dropped Mask of a Thousand Faces?
Yeah, pretty much. The moment I heard Lucius say he wants to get back to his guest before they broke up, I did some like dramatic thing to the witch and to Penelope and broke it, so it looked like it was part of the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. And you may rejoin that conversation, Lucius, with your besties.
I apologize, but perhaps it is time for our main event. Yancey, may I speak to you later?
Sure thing.
Do you lead them up to your room?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Inside, everything is basically being cleared, and there are black candles, a ring of salt, a person who is splayed out and unconscious, naked and ready to be murdered for our passage.
Naked and ready to be murdered. What a vibe.
Me.
Who wouldn't for the Berlin baddies?
Yeah.
Sheesh. As we go there, though, the witch will tell Lucius, would you wish to speak to me later tonight?
Of course.
Good answer in your case.
All right. So, Lucius, you murder this person. Please take 2 stains, but we know that's not going to bother you too much. I think Lucius only has, 5 humanity? 4 humanity? 3 humanity? That's not going to be that big of a
it's
deal.
at 6 on the sheet. I feel like that might be a typographical error.
That is
it should be
absolutely
5.
my error. It should be at 5. Yeah. Fairly certain. It should be at 4 or 5. Yes. So give yourself 2 stains for murdering someone. And you perform your ritual of ex nihilo to take everyone to the Shadowlands. Of course, Penelope's familiar with this. The witch has seen this a few times. Yancey has seen this at least once, and didn't like it the first time. Probably not going to like it the second time. And you cross over into the gauntlet. You don't take Ariana or Emma, is that correct?
No, this is just
For the grown-ups.
For the grown-ups.
Yeah.
And Penelope. She's my new guest of honor.
Yeah. And she's a super grown-up. Cross over the through the shroud. I said gauntlet because I've been reading werewolves now. Through the shroud. And it's pretty much the same thing. And you arrive in the Shadowlands. And Lucius, you're leading this, and it's just like it has been the last few times that you've done this. You're in the same area. It is a desolate hill that seems to be outside of the city. It's hard in the Shadowlands to tell exactly where things are because it's not a one-to-one mirror, right? Sometimes things in the Umbra, as I'll just call it that, is different than it is. Sometimes it's just a feeling that creates something more than just objects. And it is a hill made out of sandstone, gray sandstone, pretty desolate. And the only way to go is up. So all of you traverse this very, very long hill to what looks like, at the top, for lack of a better term, a temple. Is there anything you'd like to discuss as you walk?
I'm walking at Lucius's side, in particular the side in which I saw him put the blood vial into. And as we're talking, I'm just talking about like this place looks even less lively than the last place you took us to. Is it like it? What like do we just drop in like and it's like a 1-to-1 thing of like this is what this place looks like, the real world, like overlay stuff, or I'm asking him dumb questions on purpose.
You may roll me make a rouse check and resolve and fix. Go ahead.
Lucius goes into a very complicated and boring explanation of
Penelope rapt attention immediately, like, yes.
The connection between the amount of death that happens in an area and the emotion of that you can extract from blood if he's tried a lot of stuff like that is can also be imbued into a place. But both life brings all this change to the Shadowlands, and it is not 1-to-1 like he suggested it was. It's mutable.
Yes, it is. And Penelope is also talking about the differences of wraiths, talking about their pathos and, what makes them different, talking about their shadows and how that can affect them, and talking about the different theories about oblivion and where it comes from.
Yeah, I'm sure, like, for most of the walk, unless someone interrupts us, we're debating, like, a various few different theories on what powers raids and where oblivion came from.
And with no roll required, this is some sort of very strange death clan flirtation thing happening here. Yancey, roll me... you think performance would be good for your sleight of hand since you're proficient in it?
Since it's up close magic, I would say yes.
Okay. You can roll me dexterity and performance, or composure and performance, whichever's higher for you.
Okie dokie.
And what did you roll, Mina Hexa?
So what's it? Is it okay for me to blood surge?
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, cool. Then I'm at 1 hunger now, not at 0 anymore, and I have 7 successes.
Okay, I want to specify what I am actually going to try to do, because I'm not just going to try to take it. Because I already know like how that could go poorly.
Go ahead. Go for it.
While everybody is in the midst of stuff, I'm going to try to take it, and then I'm doing this whole I'm doing like my usual hand shit. I want to try to remove the blood from the vial. Whether that means pouring it into my pocket, whether that means drinking it, I don't care. And then I want to get the vial back into Lucius's jacket. Empty.
If you roll me 8 successes or more, I will let you do that.
Oh, I'm going to blood surge then to make that a higher amount. I succeed.
I hope the coterie learns what you're doing for them.
They better. I'm going to burn a willpower. And that is 9 critical.
Perfect. And you're absolutely able to do that. You're able to slide it down your clothes, even, without it touching your clothes. You are that nimble and dexterous, and you can put it back in his pocket as Lucius gets more animated about talking about the different types of monsters that live in the labyrinth that he's seen as he skated across the labyrinth.
Yeah, actually, I will clarify because I realize now that I say that like, you can smell blood at a certain point. I do want to straight up just try to as I'm listening in, I want to put this vial in. I want to drink what's in there.
Perfect.
Because I need to get rid of it.
Yeah, perfect. That's even better. Even better solution. And it doesn't affect you as the way you saw it affects Edgar or other members of the Hecata when they taste Aylin's blood.
Yeah, I don't know what mage blood does to a general vampire, but either way, yeah.
Phil, mage blood you think should do something to you, but it doesn't. That's weird. Don't lack the acumen to know what's going on there. It's weird.
Yeah.
But she's not awakened, so maybe it's that.
Maybe.
So, Mina Hexa, with 8 success, you said 7 successes?
Yes.
7 successes. You're in the Shadowlands, and it's a little bit different here than using your abilities of premonition in the Skinlands. Things are strange here, and your abilities manifest strangely here sometimes as well. What you see has nothing to do with anything going on right now. What you see is a strange scene. A vampire in the desert. Old vampire, dressed in rags. In his hand is the Shadowbane. You watch him send his, let's call them minions, out into the sand to pull people out of hovels, homes built into the side of sandstone. They pull them out, they cut their throats, pour their blood over the Shadowbane. It's a relic to be held in the hand. He says words in a language that you don't know. And as he does so, the people around him, his fellow clan members, begin screaming and falling to their knees, not in supplication of the relic, but because the relic is pulling their souls out of their bodies, either killing them outright, final death, or turning them into whites around him. He doesn't seem to care, though. He knows that this is going to happen. And he wants it to. And you watch this shroud, this gauntlet that you just passed through just now to come to where you are in the Shadowlands, begin to open, rip open, and start pulling this small town into it, this small village. Until a woman appears, carrying water from a well. She screams at the top of her lungs, and her light is so extraordinarily bright, it sends him screaming out into the desert. He doesn't stay away for long. He does return, and as he returns, he sees her on the ground singing to the Shadowbane, singing to it with words of light. He drains her dry and embraces her. That is what you see.
I will keep all of this for now. But there will be a moment later where I might let this slip. Might.
What you think about?
What's on your mind?
So you travel up this hill, and you reach, as I said, what can only be described as a temple. And in this temple is a woman that you've seen multiple times, Lucius. Woman on a slab, petrified, stone. And meine Hexe, it is the woman from your vision. And Lucius can show you around, show you the woman, and tell you what happens if he tries to touch her.
I will
Yancey.
say, yeah, go ahead. I was going to say, like, if we're walking around, I will at some point say, like, what is this? So please go for it.
Please. Attempt. You are very strong, yes?
I do okay.
Attempt to lift her, if you wouldn't mind. She is petrified, so expect the weight of stone.
Lift her? Okay.
Are you going to actually attempt it? Or are you going to fake it?
Yeah. I don't know, honestly. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here, so I'm just told to lift her, so I go, okay. Is this kind of the same scene where I activated potence, or is this a different scene?
This is, you didn't activate potence to do strength, sleight of hand, right?
No, but the other time I did. Earlier.
No, that was your opening scene. No, you did activate
Got it.
Blood Surge again.
Okay, rouse check. I'm at 3 hunger.
Oh, Yancey. Come on, man.
I'm okay.
What
I'm
are
okay
you
for
doing
now.
in here? Get the fuck out of here. Eat them both. Take their power. You don't have to worry about this shit anymore. Come on, kill them.
don't want their power. I want to get the fuck out of here. And I will just one hand pick up this stone.
Mhm.
Woman.
And nothing happens to Yancey when he picks her up.
Of course.
Did you want to move her somewhere, or?
Could you give me an estimate of her weight? I do not have the same unholy strength as you.
I don't know. I mean, I was told it's impolite to disclose a woman's weight and all that, but I mean, she's made out of stone, so
Yes.
I'd say she probably weighs, I don't know, at least as much as any of us do here, if not more.
Maybe more.
I've
Put
been,
her down there.
if you don't mind,
Okay.
gently. I don't know if she breaks. This is the woman that my travels here have been leading me to. I don't suppose by some far-fetched chance either the most venerable of us here have met her before.
Dang, that's a lot of successes. She looks her over and she says, I don't know who she is, but you can feel it if you get close enough to her. She's one of us. She looks at you, Lucius.
That is what I felt as well. And yet, there's something about her aside from her petrified state that means that I cannot touch her.
Penelope puts a hand on her, and she recoils immediately. She comes back with a burn mark on her hand. And Yancey, quickly make me wits on occult. And of course, Anastasia, you're watching all this. Just what's occult.
So just
Yeah,
what's
would
done.
I am planning to touch her, but would I know if I would also burn before touching her even?
No, you wouldn't.
Okay.
2 successes. That's enough, considering what you have seen. This is exactly like it was on the plane with Aelin, where none of the Hecata could use their powers on her. But you had no issue with it.
Cool. Obviously
There,
not disclosing that.
she is connected to this somehow.
Cool. The moment that I see the pull away, I just like kind of,
Mhm.
just like I'm rolling into the I don't know what's going on, which is like touch,
Yep.
touch.
Do you touch her,
I
Anastasia?
get closer and I lift a finger to put it on her, like along her hand.
Nothing happens to you.
Once again, our bloodline has been specially selected for something.
Penelope grins widely. It does seem that way.
What do you think fate has been showing you to this woman?
Because the Shadowbane may not be the only way. That is what I think as I traverse these dead halls and wastelands.
Definitely seems like she was put here by someone.
Meine Hexe. You may also roll me wits in occult. Add your dots and auspex. I searched for a very long time, Lucius, to find a way to bring back my lover exactly as he was, to usher in this utopia. And I never found such a relic as the Shadowbane everyone keeps mentioning. If you will not take up the mantle, then I certainly will.
Do not get me wrong. The mantle is what I am here for. It is what has led me to where we are right now. So I will not so easily discard it.
But you're losing faith.
Would you not if all of your childhood had abandoned you, fought against you, undermined you when you had given them everything they have? They sit at the top of our family because I have arranged it.
I don't know this concept of family you keep mentioning. I predated. And any childer I made, I had to eat them because they were such a disappointment. Perhaps, Lucius, it is you who is the only one who can do this.
Perhaps I have wandered for too long. But the party piece, a petrified woman, is that not something you have seen before, any of you?
Penelope shakes her head. What did you roll? Anastasia?
10 successes.
10 successes. What? Whatever this is. Combining it with the vision that you received, this woman was at one time a celestial chorister. You know that just based on your knowledge of mages, because you used to be one. But she was made into Kindred. You know what that feels like too. Happened to you as well. What she has done is something that at one time you would have called vulgar magic. She has done something. She has somehow figured out a way to use her avatar. Because this is not kindred magic, this is not blood magic, this is something else. She has done something, and this deserves study.
I think you shouldn't give up on your shadow base so soon and hope that fate shows you a different path. Instead, I would hope that perhaps fate is showing you pieces one by one, all involved in the same thing. Who's to say that this also doesn't revolve around the shadow bane? Knowing you and knowing your fate strings, I would rather think it likely that it does. Isn't this your great purpose in life?
I'm beginning to see connections. I do have something to ask of you, however. What is the full prophecy? There are lots of gaps that I have not been able to fill in myself.
And why do you think that telling the prophecy reveals all it entails? Is it ever that simple?
And premonitions are to be believed? No. But simplicity, straightforwardness is what I have always delivered to you. I would ask it in return, and perhaps I can understand everything. Put those pieces together. There is indeed something missing, which I feel there is.
I don't think you'll ever understand everything. And I think regardless of that, you will still succeed. Should you wish it. This is also perhaps a very interesting and prominent part in all of it. I personally do not know the woman, but it would seem that she is very much so connected to your Shadowbane. And to our current Singer of Light. And to you. Well, not you specifically. Your clan. As you already noticed, she's one of you. But she used to be something else. She's the first one who sang light into the Shadowbane. Curious, don't you think?
Certainly curious that it wasn't destroyed.
I think she would stop before she could, if that is what she was planning to. I think your predecessor was quick enough and found a way to deal with his Singer of Light, as you will need to find a way to deal with yours. Now you see how he dealt with her.
A unique solution.
Not as unique as you would think. But something.
Perhaps we should remove her from the Shadowlands.
No, I think keeping her here, where presumably you have been led, unless you think that you can keep someone safer out in the living world than here. Perhaps taking someone like this out of here, bringing them to the living world, will bring more attention than you might want. And if she's here, well, at the moment you can presume only those present know of her. There might be others who, of course, had their fate also pointed this way. No one can predict. But the question is, which option do you deem safest at this moment? Seeing what transpired to her and to you now, with your fate and however you saw this woman found her. Again, if you think she's safest here, then that is an option. Providing that you are not the only one who can get to the Shadowlands. There are multiple in your clan who can do the same, even within the little coterie where your children are in. I'm sure that there are those who could do the same, and if they were to find out about this, who's to say they couldn't find her? Seeing as you ask for transparency and simpleness, I am also interested in this woman now. And seeing as I'm interested in something, I could very much keep it safe.
Do I want to make the witch happy, or would I like to keep this treasure for myself? I would also like to know everything you find out about her. And seeing as I am unable to touch her, I think that might stall any research I attempt. Please, take her as a gift.
Well, you do have manners and you do have generosity, it seems. I'm sure any valuable information that I can find could possibly help you with your Singer of Light.
So, while all of that makes sense, and again, I'm deferring to the people that understand how the death stuff works. How long has she been here?
It is difficult to say exactly, but many, many hundreds of years. And given the
Okay.
time does not work the same.
See, that right there. So, just so I'm clear, you want to take a petrified woman from who knows how long ago out of the time-locked dimension that she is in and bring her back to the top side, exposing her to time and the elements, hoping that she stays in one piece long enough for the witch to analyze her?
This is truly the first time you've bored me, Yancey.
Well, good thing I'm not saying it for you. I'm saying it for this guy right here.
Genuinely, this is one of the more insightful things that you've said.
Like, look, she's a mystery to you guys. I totally get that. I'm not going to stand in the way of you wanting to learn more. I'm just curious. Is she going to survive the trip?
And there is one flaw in your assessment here.
What's that?
She's not a mystery. She's merely something that I have a bit of information on and want more. That's not what a mystery is. She's an experiment and investigation.
Okay.
She's not a mystery.
Okay, well then the mystery is the mystery of body decomposition out of the Shadowlands.
Yeah, I give Yancey kind of a, oh, okay, kind of a look like, oh, that's not a mystery? All right.
Again, if you guys want to investigate this body, that's totally up to you guys. I'm not going to stop you on it. I'm just asking the question, is she going to survive the trip? And if she doesn't survive the trip, are you going to be able to learn anything?
The witch rolls her eyes because she's thinking like, this is a powerful mage who, like, God knows what happened to her. Like, the fact that you're asking yourself if her body will decompose when we take her out of here is, like, nonsensical, is what she's thinking right now.
Totally, but that bit hasn't been shared with the class yet. So
No,
I'm afraid
yeah.
that's what I get.
Yeah.
So that's where Yancey is landing on this. That's the question he has posed to the class.
She, after she rolls her eyes, she will look at Lucius and say, I am fairly certain that in her current state, a trip out of the Shadowlands will not get her out of her current state. It wouldn't be that simple. Decomposing or living, either way. This is a stasis.
Well, this has been all very interesting to me. If you would like, I can prepare a room at Lux where she might be safer, but it does not seem that you are worried about her decomposing. Alexa. So,
to nullify any and all doubts, I would say that logically it would be perhaps the best bet to take her out for one night in Lux and see how she copes with it. If we see that all is well in that night and I can verify that, then we can move her. That seems... For now, that seems like the logical way to go.
Hey, that's up to you guys entirely. I'm just providing the question.
But we can discuss those details when we talk.
She begins to fall apart. I can always send her back. You're very caring, Yancey.
Look, I don't know this chick. I just figure if you want to actually find what you're looking for, pieces is not really going to help you.
Would you do the honors?
Me?
Please.
You're
look over-
very, very good at carrying women.
I was about to say, I look over to Penelope and go, getting pigeonholed into this, and I pick her up.
Mind the heck, so would you make me one more roll, please?
Yeah.
Would you scry the soul on this woman?
Yes. Wait, is that... Yeah, intelligence and aspects for me.
Mm-hmm.
I will blood search as
Mhm.
well. I will spend a willpower, so I am still at 1 hunger.
Mhm.
But I have 5 successes.
You use Scry the Soul on her as Yancey lifts her up off of the slab that she's laying on. There's nothing in there. However, you turn to Lucius, and you can see almost invisibly, only to you with your power of Auspex, a tether between him and her, and a very small part of his soul is attached to her. The part that hates the Shadowbane.
Alright. I think the witch, like, at that moment decides if Lucius has already played his cards, right? So that's something she might tell him.
Mm-hmm. So, Lucius, you take everyone back to Lux, Yancey carrying about 350 pounds of stone woman. Pretty easily. And you want to leave her here in Lux, is that correct?
Yes, please.
All right. You have plenty of rooms in the upper floor, which is where you already are. You lead Yancey to one of them. And I will give you this moment now while the witch and Penelope head back downstairs to speak alone with Yancey before you can dismiss him and have your private conversation with the witch.
Yancey, I would like to fulfill the favor that I owe you and let you know that I have learned of the Singer of Light and the fact that my child are hiding things from me. They know about the Shadowbane. I would like to organize a meeting on Peacock Island.
Why on the island?
Because I'm led to believe that the person who knows the most about the Shadowbane is the Zaken.
Well, I can certainly ask them, but they're not really in a social mood at the moment. But I could definitely put the word out, and if they get back up and they want to meet, we can talk about that.
Get back up. They have been torpid?
Not been torpid. It's the funny thing about you old heads is sometimes you just gotta take a nap. It's voluntary.
Perhaps there's a way that I can talk to her.
Yeah, see, thing is, if I just bring you to the island without having asked them, and let you try to talk with them without me having asked them, it will not end well. So I definitely promise I'm going to go ask them.
Thank you. Anything that they would like to talk about, I'm willing to accommodate.
The moment I get an answer back from them, I will let you know. What exactly do you think the witch is going to find out about this chick you just pulled out of the Shadowlands?
The connection to my clan? No way to kill or dispose of the other Singer of Light? I'm not certain. Their connection is seemingly preordained. I am hoping she will explain the fullness of it to me soon, but I am hoping that the Singer of Light will not die, because clearly they have a very strong attachment. She cannot be allowed to come into contact with the Shadowbane.
And are you just gonna let her take this stone lady back to Berghain, or are you gonna keep her here at Lux?
Truthfully, I would really like to keep her here. But I did say it was a gift.
I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, I don't feel any differently than I did the first time around about this whole merging the realms together thing. I still am not your biggest fan of it, but I do hope that you can at least find what you're looking for in this. Maybe it leads to something more than that.
Is there anyone that ever expected anything of you?
To their detriment, yes.
My family is full of failures, and I feel that very heavily on my soul. I would like to reverse that.
Have you considered maybe the failure comes from pursuing one path that's not attainable? Maybe success comes from breaking the path?
Maybe there is another fate, but I have not found it yet.
For the sake of for the sake of those that aren't strong enough to survive, Lucius Giovanni, I really hope that you do. But, like you said, fate will show us, won't it?
It certainly will.
I promise to let you know if the dragon gives me a response. Is there anything else that you need?
No. Anything you would like me to do except stop?
Honestly, let me take the kid out of here so he can give me the money he owes me.
Oh, I would very much like to have a conversation with my brother. I'm not sure I can let you do that. I can give you the money, but I would really like to keep him.
It's more of a principle of the thing. Honestly, it's less about the money and it's more about him not giving me what is owed. I think you'd understand that, yeah?
No, I understand the principle, but he has more use to me beyond what he can afford you.
What is that, out of curiosity?
Connection to Tulio.
That's the only way that you can get a connection to Tulio? It's through him?
I would like an outside perspective, and certainly learning from his child. I could reach out to Tulio myself, but then I wouldn't really learn anything. You know him. Quiet, brooding.
I do know him. I am an outside perspective that knows Tullio Giovanni.
Then I would like a favor relating to Tullio.
Give me the kid and we can talk. What's your favor?
I've yet to decide, but I would like to know more about Tullio. Take the child.
I appreciate it. I do. Honestly, though, really, love the place. Excellent work on all that. If you guys do, I don't know, like performance stuff, let me know.
I was considering hiring you, but I thought you might like to see other performers for this evening.
You know, I liked what I was seeing. I'm gonna be honest. You can only watch like folks like David Blaine and Chris Angel and David Copperfield perform so often before you start to get jealous about it, not being able to do it. A place like this that's actually run by somebody that knows what's going on. Talk about an opportunity.
I will consider it.
You let me know, and I'll let you know.
A good night, and perhaps we will see each other later. The witch must see me, apparently.
I will. You want me to find her and send her up to you?
Oh, yes, please tell me how that works out.
It sounds funny. I'll do it. And I walk out. First, I'm going to find Kenneth.
Mm-hmm. Kenneth is sort of just in the corner, in the farthest corner. You can see him trying to figure out how he is going to get out of here. He's clocking the bodyguards, clocking the amount of windows.
I just wrap my arm around his shoulder and go, "Come on, kid," and I walk, and I'm going to walk to the witch first.
Mm-hmm.
And Penelope, and I'll walk up to them and just go, "You've been summoned by our gracious host."
She looks at Kenneth as they are both there. You've gone through quite a journey, haven't you?
That's one way of putting it.
Be glad you're still standing here, I would say. You didn't taste too bad.
Should have tasted me when I was dead.
Where would the fun be in that? I don't have anything with death, unlike you.
Nah. Great party.
I turn away from him and from Yancey.
I just give a wave to the witch and a wave to Penelope, and I'm going to walk Kenneth out the front door.
Mm-hmm.
And my question to the storyteller is, do you want me to wrap up the stuff that I'm going to do as Yancey right now, or do you want me to wait until after this scene?
Wait until after this scene, please.
Great.
For once, she doesn't have a difficulty with being invited up because her object of interest is upstairs. So the witch will gladly go upstairs to the room. And honestly, Penelope can totally join if she's interested. If she's like, nah, downstairs is way more interesting right now for me, that's also cool.
Penelope, you're getting the impression, seems like she's not planning on leaving Lux. She's making herself quite comfortable here.
Good. Then I'm assuming she doesn't go up with me. Yeah. I will make my way to the room where Lucius and the stone body are. And close the door behind me. I'm assuming Yancey was fascinating as always, with his morality and questioning of your goals, presumably.
I find it strange that you would keep him so close. But yes, he seems particularly opposed to it.
I don't much care for keeping him close instead of he's always around and I tolerate him. But yes.
Perhaps one day he will die.
Very likely. But I give him a few more 100 years before it happens.
Generous.
Kindred like him are cunning. They know who to stick around with. They know where to not be. They know what they need and they don't take more.
I am encouraged by a trip this evening. I hope you found it entertaining.
It was even more entertaining than the 6 months I had you at Burkane, indeed. So you managed to impress me tonight.
It's what I have apparently died for.
Speaking about dying, do you think, do you think that you need to be on this side, unliving, to fulfill your destiny with the Shadowbane, or do you think you could also do that dead from the other side?
I'm not sure I understand the question. I travel between the worlds. I do not stick to one, and I am already dead. I cannot become alive, if that is your question.
My question is indeed, if you were to be stuck on the other side, not able to be in this world anymore, do you think you could still fulfill your destiny? Estimated guess.
If I was stuck there, I imagine it would take longer. The world of the living is where all of us take our energy from. But I would be able to do my best. I hope you don't intend on trapping me on the other side.
You're more interesting to me on this side for now. It's not me per se that you need to worry about at this moment. Rather, I think it's your own children. You see, one of them made me a very interesting offer.
Oh, really? What is that?
Your heart in a box. Sounds delicious, doesn't it?
I'm sure it would be to your taste.
I don't know about that. My tastes are particular. But Tulio does seem to think it's up to my taste.
He is a very good boy, and he keeps his promises. Did you take him up on it?
He offered it. I did not need to accept it or anything unless he actually shows it to me. Words can be frivol, little things. I still have the empty box. I assume he's waiting to fill it.
Do you prefer that? To not have a partner in this?
My dear Lucius, you have been way more interesting than your child ever has or ever will be. At this moment.
Well, thank you for telling me. They have been rambunctious. Perhaps I will invite them to looks.
You know, I would say I don't quite understand why you keep such childer around. I would not keep coping with it. I would swiftly dispose of it. But in your specific situation, I suppose you do have possibly some use for all your childer.
I have tried to put them to it. They refuse constantly. Maybe they are freer from the whims of fate than I.
Well, I suppose they do irritate you in the slightest then, because, well, they are harboring the Singer of Light that you so seek.
That is something that I have been brewing on for the last few hours. If they do, in fact, have the Singer of Light, we also have a Singer of Light, then either way, they will fulfill their purpose and find the Shadowbane if they wish to use her to destroy it. And in that moment, it will be vulnerable.
You see, your words now are very different from the beginning of the evening. They almost sound hopeful.
I cannot tell. You're very hard to read. Have you ever actually been in love with anyone?
See, when you ask that to one my age, it's very difficult to say what is actually in love with someone. Obsessed with, fascinated with, had feelings with, had intercourse with, shared millennia with. All of those are yes. Does one of them qualify as actual love? Perhaps I will be able to tell you that as I lay my head down for good. Then I will be able to review my life and unlife as one and give you a clear answer. But as I am still walking around, everything is still in review. Is it not?
We have different perspectives. I am and have been sharing, feeling my love for my child. So it is very difficult for me to do as you would practically suggest, to destroy them, to find better, more competent, more motivated people. They will fulfill their purpose, I have no doubt. But there are things that prevent me. Stronger things. And that gives me the hope that I need to answer your question.
As we already discussed, I'm certain that I can get many answers out of our guest here from the Shadowlands. And perhaps as a show of fate from your generous gift, I will already give you this. From what I managed to scry already, you are connected to this woman in a way that's perhaps very fitting for your clan. You see, did you know that there is a part inside of you, Lucius Giovanni, that wishes to destroy the Shadowbane, and a part that yells out every second to be reunited with itself and to stop you? It's very fascinating to perceive you in certain ways. This woman has part of her in you. Part of her soul, you could say. There is no soul in this woman's body. In some way, it is connected to you. How and which way, I will have to find out. But it is fascinating, is it not?
Very. The stuff of souls is my domain. I will find out what this connection is. Thank you, Anastasia.
Do you ever feel it calling out inside of you?
So that is what it is. I have heard, felt some parts of it. I did not pay too much mind. My focus, you see, strong. This is concerning and unsettling. I would very much like to be myself. Perhaps this requires more investigation.
One thing I would say is that it is not per se concerning in any way. It hasn't destabilized up until now. I am sure that it will not suddenly destabilize. I will find ways to decide which way we want to go forward with it. For now, I would not worry about it.
Well, I will assign one of my girls to make sure her fingers do not fall off during the day, and then I will let you know.
As we discussed, we give it one day to see if her body starts to decompose or if her stasis is broken. For that day, I am sure that you will provide my utmost safety within your haven here. I will provide my own safety, of course. I have ways to make a room impenetrable to anyone else. Come next nightfall, if her stasis remains, I will have my assistants help me in carrying her to another safe place, of which you, of course, will know the location. I will take my gift home then.
Very well. You may have my room if you wish. It's extremely safe already.
I will provide my own safety, but the offer is appreciated. I would very much like to see what you consider safety.
Final question before we move over to Yancey, since Lucius is going to be having a sleepover with everyone. Do you attempt to give her the vial or no?
Oh,
I
yes.
was hoping you just forgot about it.
He was like, I don't
Forget
have
about
it anymore. He
No.
was like, I don't have it anymore.
No. I remembered.
Yeah.
You reach into your pocket and you pull out a vial, and it's empty.
I look at it for perhaps a little bit too longer.
Mhm.
What is it? I can smell that blood used to be in that vial.
Someone has stolen from me. This was the Singers of Light. I know very few people who are that invested in this. I put it back in my pocket.
You were to tell me that you had the blood of the Singer of Light and you lost it.
Where could it be? I wonder.
I am sure you'll find out. Disappointing, though. Very. I could have gotten a lot of knowledge out of that. Yeah, a lot of usefulness. Never mind that. Good night, Lucius.
I bow deeply.
Is there anyone you'd like to speak with, Lucius, before we move our final scene to Yancey?
I'm going to take a look around for Yancey.
He's gone.
Oh, weird.
It's super
Time
weird.
to go.
As
to leave.
you look around for Yancey, Urbano does stop you, who you did not speak with. Mauricio and Hamish you spoke with, but Urbano Pisano stops you and he says, something I think I should mention, that I think Hamish forgot to mention. This person, this singer of light, she's married to one of Tulio's coterie mates.
Ooh,
Edgar.
of course.
And I know her name.
Please.
It's Aylin Badem. She used to be his CCO for his company.
She used to work here, too. That is quite the meteoric rise.
Faded, one might say.
Unlikely. I would like you to prepare for war.
Urbano smiles widely. Yes, my lord.
And if I find out that you have struck first, it will be your head.
I wouldn't dream of it.
Good night.
Good night, and don't forget, my lord, you did promise to come to my estate for my special event.
Thank you. I have not forgotten.
Everyone loves the hunt. Yancey, you hurry out of Lux with Kenneth, and Kenneth is like, overflowing with gratitude. Like, fuck, man, thank you so much for getting me out of there. I was afraid I was being too fucking subtle.
How the fuck did you wind up in there?
That crazy bitch with the fucked up face did the mind wibbly wobbly on me, got me here. I saw her taking Osric out of the fucking, my dad out of the fucking basement, and I just started following her. I'm not sneaky like you.
No, clearly not. Speaking of mind wibbly wobbly, do you feel any particular compulsion to go back there at any point or talk to people back there at any point?
Fuck no.
Okay, good. That's one less thing I have to fucking worry about. I'm going to take out my phone. I'm going to take out another phone. I'm plugging them to each other, and I'm exporting or transferring contacts, messages, everything. I'm deleting it off the first phone entirely as we're walking. And I say, "You going right back to your friends?"
Yes, I'm going right back to my fucking sire, who I don't even know if he's looking for me. Fuck's sake.
Well, great, because because you're going to give him something, and it did not come from me.
Right. You were never here.
Nope. Well, I mean, I was here. I can't really avoid that, but I didn't give you this. And I'm going to, once I finish, I'm transferring everything over to my other phone, except for two things. A recording that I started when we started talking about shit in Lux.
Mm-hmm.
There's a gap missing in the middle where I turned off the phone before I went into the Shadowlands. But
right.
Pretty much anything that was not in the Shadowlands up until I left.
Yep.
And a note app, which is just it looks like a sticky note right on the
mm-hmm.
front screen. I'm gonna type a note in to it, and I'm typing that in, and I'm gonna give it put it in Kenneth's pocket and go, "You go straight the fuck home," and you hand that over to them. And the note on the phone, it's right above an icon of the recording file, and it says, "Fix this before I give this to someone else to fix," and it's punctuated with 2 cross emojis.
Okay. Shit's gonna get really bad.
Yeah, no shit. Tell them to fix it before it does. I've got a bit of shopping I need to do.
I owe you. Boon, life boon, whatever. Life debt. I don't even know how this fucking shit works. I'm like, what, 5 days dead?
No, you don't. Give it to them. Give it to them. Get shit done. We're good. And I just like literally push him forward as I break off with him. Because Yancey is going to go break into a fucking Bauhaus or something and steal an electric ice auger. Because he is going to have some digging to do.
Perfect. Perfect. And that is where we are going to end our final epilogue, epilogue 6 reflections for this evening. Thank you so much, everybody. Oh my God.